Stephen Hamilton, thank you so much for joining me again. Look, when did politicians stop worrying about debt and deficits?
Yeah, it's a good question. If you remember, it took a very long time after the global financial crisis in sort of 2008 in order to get back to surplus. Right, we didn't get back to budget balance until right before the pandemic. Right, that last budget was basically balanced, and then obviously the pandemic happened, and we spent a lot of money and had very large deficits. And then the only reason, frankly, that we had a surplus after that was because of the rivers of gold that have been flowing through to the Treasury. I think absent those, I don't think we'd be in surplus at all. So, that's kind of extraordinary. It took a decade to repair the budget and get back to normal. And then now it's going to take at least another decade to get back there.
Yeah, the rivers of gold being that boom because of record prices for coal and iron ore and gas and all that kind of stuff. And like there's money pouring in like nobody's business. Now it's all gone, of course. We've got 10 years of deficits ahead of us. But why is that not number one? How could the government have run through all that money so that we've now got $1 trillion debt facing us next year? What has changed in our political culture?
Yeah, it's a great question. I mean, I do think that there is a degree of complacency out there. And I don't know if it's young people. I mean, if people even younger than us, who maybe they've never experienced, the consequences, right, of high debt, right? We've been able to fund basically whatever we've needed to fund, right? The government has grown and grown and grown and grown and grown over the past 15 years. We're offering people more and more, right? Increasing everything, the NDIS, higher health spending, increasing the dole, increasing family payments, right? We're doing that all the time. And we haven't really, had to raise people's taxes to pay for it, right? And so I think people have just gotten used to this kind of gravy train of money coming from governments without thinking that eventually something has to give.
Yeah, but the thing is, you say, something has to give. Nothing has given as far as most people who are concerned. I mean, it's starting to give in Victoria. That's absolutely true. I mean, even the Labor government there is now having to cut positions, etc., in the public service. But what will give one day?
Yeah, I mean, I think have a look at what's going to happen to taxes over the next 10 years. So we have a big structural deficit right now, really, really big. And if you look at the budget, that deficit just automatically goes away over the next 10 years, like magic. But it isn't magic. It's that every single one of us is going to be paying more and more and more and more of our income in taxes over that time through bracket creep. And you have to imagine that in a boiling the frog kind of way, eventually people have to feel that, right? They have to feel it in their living standards not improving, right? They have to feel it in their lives not getting better over time. They have to feel it in a sort of stagnant economy, which is slowly being strangled,